A middle-aged homeless man with unkempt, graying hair and a scruffy beard sits hunched against a cold concrete wall on a Los Angeles sidewalk. His once sharp eyes are now dulled by exhaustion, his face lined with hardship. He wears a torn, oversized jacket and frayed jeans, his shoes barely holding together. A battered cardboard sign rests against his knees, reading, "Former engineer. Down on my luck. Anything helps." The night air is crisp, and steam rises from a nearby street vent, adding an eerie glow under the flickering yellow street lights. Pedestrians walk past him without a second glance, their hurried steps echoing indifference. The city skyline in the background is illuminated with the glow of high-rise buildings, a stark contrast to the forgotten man below. A gust of wind blows, making him shiver as he pulls his tattered coat tighter around himself. Inside a sleek, high-tech office overlooking downtown Los Angeles, Elon Musk sits at his minimalist desk, scrolling through his phone. His workspace is bathed in the soft glow of LED panels, casting a futuristic ambience. The walls are lined with Tesla and SpaceX memorabilia, blueprints of rockets, prototype designs, and awards. Suddenly, his expression shifts from casual curiosity to deep concern. On his screen is a viral social media post showing a homeless man sitting on a cold sidewalk, holding a sign that reads, "Former engineer." Musk's brow furrows as he zooms in, recognizing the man's features. His fingers hover over the screen for a moment before he leans back in his chair, exhaling slowly. The realization that this man was once part of his company weighs heavily on him. A sleek black Tesla Model X pulls up quietly to the curb near a dimly lit alley in downtown Los Angeles. The city hums with nightlife, cars speeding past, neon lights flickering, people laughing in the distance. The driver's door opens, and Elon Musk steps out, dressed in a dark, well-tailored suit but without the usual corporate stiffness. His expression is serious, his sharp eyes scanning the sidewalk. He walks forward, his polished shoes clicking against the pavement. His gaze locks onto a familiar figure, Mark Evans, the homeless engineer, slumped against a building, looking tired, cold, and defeated. The contrast between Musk's commanding presence and Mark's fragile state is stark. A few passers-by glance curiously at the unusual scene, but most keep moving. The air is thick with city noise, yet for a moment, everything feels still. Elon Musk crouches down in front of Mark, his usually composed face showing rare concern. Mark stirs at the movement and slowly lifts his head, his sunken eyes meeting Musk's intense gaze. For a moment, time seems to freeze. Mark's face, lined with exhaustion and hardship, shifts from confusion to shock. His lips part slightly as if he wants to speak but can't find the words. He blinks rapidly, as if trying to convince himself that he's not hallucinating. "Mark?" Musk says, his voice softer than usual. Mark swallows hard, his voice barely above a whisper. "Elon?" The disbelief is evident in his tone. His hands tremble slightly as he adjusts himself, as if preparing for the weight of the moment. Behind them, the neon lights of the city flicker, indifferent to the emotional storm brewing between two men whose paths have collided again in the most unexpected way. Stepping a few feet away, Musk pulls out his phone and dials swiftly. His face is set in determination, his free hand clenched into a fist as he waits for the call to connect. The sound of honking cars and distant chatter fills the night air, but Musk is focused only on one thing, fixing this. "Margaret," he says the moment his assistant picks up. "I need a hotel room. Now. Somewhere comfortable, somewhere safe. And get a doctor, someone who can do an immediate checkup. Make it happen." His tone is firm, urgent. Behind him, Mark watches with wary eyes, his hands fidgeting with the edges of his tattered jacket. He's unsure whether to trust what's happening, unsure if this is real or just another fleeting moment of kindness that will vanish just as quickly. Musk turns back, phone still pressed to his ear. "Mark, help is coming," he says, his voice softer now. "Just hold on." Inside a luxurious penthouse suite, Mark sits on the edge of a plush bed, his fingers lightly gripping the soft sheets as if testing their reality. The room is warm, a stark contrast to the freezing streets he had called home for so long. A steaming plate of food sits on a nearby table: grilled chicken, mashed potatoes, fresh vegetables. He hesitates before taking a bite, his hand still unsteady. A hotel staff member enters and sets down a set of neatly folded clothes beside him, offering a polite nod before leaving. Mark exhales, rubbing his hands over his face. A tear escapes down his cheek, though he quickly wipes it away. For the first time in years, he is not afraid of the night. For the first time in years, he has hope. Wearing a crisp new suit, Mark steps through the massive glass doors of Tesla's headquarters. The building hums with energy, engineers rushing between workstations, discussions about cutting-edge innovations filling the air. He walks beside Musk, his posture a mixture of nervousness and quiet determination. Some employees pause and whisper, recognizing him. Others nod in silent acknowledgement, sensing that something important is happening. As they walk through the engineering floor, Musk gestures toward a workstation, a confident smile on his face. "Welcome back," he says simply. Mark stares at the computer screens, fingers twitching slightly. It's been years, but the fire in his eyes reignites. Mark sits at a high-tech workstation, fully immersed in complex designs on the screen. His fingers move instinctively across the keyboard, his mind clicking into place like it never left. Behind him, Musk stands with arms crossed, watching silently. He nods once before turning away, knowing Mark is exactly where he's supposed to be. Around the room, Tesla engineers work with intensity, the energy of innovation filling the air. Mark takes a deep breath, a quiet smile forming on his lips. He is no longer the man on the streets, he is an engineer again. And this time, he won't let go.